Yeah, I have a bond I could form with Morax.
Okay, well, the recording's back on, so forge away.
Now, can she still form one with me?
Yep.
If I already have one with her? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Yeah, I was gonna do the I once saved their life one.
Okay.
The specifics of it are probably spoilers, so I don't know if we should.
Yeah, you don't have to tell us. Just you establish the bond, and that's that. We can talk about it another time or never.
Mm-hmm.
What other bonds do you have?
Well, me?
Yep.
I had one other one thought of, which was, it wasn't with like the other players though. Was it okay to do it with NPCs or?
Is it an NPC that we've established to exist so far?
Well, it's another dragon.
Okay, tell us about the dragon. Who is it?
The dragon was Lancris' lady friend dragon.
Okay.
And she's dead now.
All right.
I love how that was delivered.
Can you form a bond with a dead person? I'm not sure about that.
Well, she could be only sort of dead.
Yeah,
well, maybe she's in hibernation or curled up in the last lake or something like that.
Yeah, that works.
She's only mostly dead.
Only mostly.
So what's your bond with this comatose dragon?
They used to be dating way back in the day.
Okay. So you used to date, enter name of dragon here.
Yeah, we'll think of a name eventually.
Okay. So we don't have to leave one person on the spot the whole time. So if you have a bond you want to forge, just get in there and forge it.
Okay. I have a bond to forge with Hezmak.
All right.
I was going to go with... hold on here.
And I refuse.
Oh, you haven't even heard it.
He refuses based on the quality of your microphone?
I can't help that right now. I mean, I guess I could if I decided to like buy something off Amazon a week ago, but I didn't.
It's okay. We'll just give you shit until you fix it.
I know. I was really cursed with this microphone by the dwarves. That's my bond there.
Maybe your bond with the dwarf could be that he can help you go back in time and get a better fucking microphone.
Definitely better than bringing back my dead parents for sure.
Right. I agree.
Okay, no. I would like to use Hezmak's people have aided mine throughout history. Perhaps back when they had first shown up and were all about trying to do shit, they took Rashin's people, men, on as like a client race sort of. Showed them technology, innovation, how to use all this stuff, trying to perhaps use them as a tool or ally with which to oppose the overlord. But then once they realized they were changing history by doing this, they kind of backed off and became more reclusive.
Okay.
But we did keep you as our slaves.
No, didn't quite do that.
Sorry, I just established a bond.
All right, so you've established a bond that the dwarves have helped your people throughout history.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I've got 4 written down here.
Go for it.
Damn.
All right.
Teacher's pet. Let's get him at the class.
I just used the basic ones, which is, I assume, fine. The first one is that Rashid seeks power like mine, but is not yet ready. I have destroyed something. Huh?
So to be clear, Rasheen wants to be able to die and then launch spores.
Yeah.
He's not ready, though.
He wants
I have plenty
babies.
more power than that.
He
Come
is
on, that's
not
just-
ready for that.
I don't think anybody's ready for that.
I mean, he launches spores right now, but that's usually in the privacy of his own room.
Oh,
Terrible.
I
inappropriate.
mean, I would think either perhaps like immortality or just strength or something.
Yeah, this is perhaps foreshadowing, but because when we level up, we can share some of our moves with other people. I was thinking that I would share Fires of Industry with Rashid, which lets him just make up weapons as he wants.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty tight.
All right, so we'll keep that in mind for when you level up.
But yeah, the idea was I'd teach him something, but at the moment he's not ready because the whole he believes that orcs are, the overlords. So once they have reconciled, perhaps there can be some sharing of knowledge.
All right.
Second one is that I have destroyed something that Lancris loved, and I seek their forgiveness.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh shit, was it the lady friend?
I don't think I smashed lives. I just smashed things.
He was coming right at me.
Perhaps there was some altar or things of worship or important things to dragons that I smashed and possibly made a junk cannon out of.
All right.
Because I totally have a junk cannon.
You do.
Walls, smash.
Going a little digital there, Shirley.
Did you just say something about Smash Mouth?
I think I heard something about Smash Mouth.
Like Smash Burger. Yeah, Shirley, you're cutting in and out.
Discord, why?
Discord, why?
Why?
You're supposed
Does
to be
that
the
work?
chosen one.
It did work.
Did work, yeah.
So basically, anytime I start fuzzing out, we just have to complain about Discord.
Yeah, basically.
So what was your response to that bond? You were saying something?
I was going to say that we could have had some mystical dragon walls like in Skyrim, and Caesar totally messed one up.
All right.
Sounds fun to me.
Something like that.
So for the third bond, Bentley and I used to fight all the time, but we can't remember why.
Mhm.
It was obviously over fighting games, but we don't remember that.
So my esports bond was real.
Yeah, so back then they just called them sports.
Sports.
Fucking garbage wreckers.
The E is for Elven.
They played the sports on the backs of charging elephants. That's how esports began.
See, now I have a bond for Steve's mushroom people,
Yeah?
Awesome.
which sort of fits with this whole antagonism thing, but like Chris thinks they're kind of disgusting, and he's super fascinated by them.
Oh.
Fascinated, huh?
Yes. He's fascinated by how disgusting they are.
Can't look away.
That sounds good to me. The last one I have is that I would give my life for Asgara without a thought.
Wow.
Whoa.
It's deep. I mean, it's kind of meaningless because you'll respawn, but
It's more the willingness to put myself in harm's way for him.
okay.
But then it reaches a point where you're just doing it about anything. It's like, oh no, you're about to trip. Oh, I died.
It's because you know your people are destined to serve me, and through me, the Overlord.
The fact that Caesar used to fight with me brings my bond into fully formation.
Yeah,
Because
so
I realize that I have never met anyone more full of life than Caesar. The mushroom people have such passion for fighting.
Yes.
he does look quite serene.
Yeah.
Beneath those eyes, there's waterfalls of life. Rasheen.
All right, so you formed a bond with Caesar?
Yes.
Excellent.
So Bentley can't have any more bonds made with him, right?
Right.
You can
Okay.
you can make a bond with Bentley. Everyone can make one bond with Bentley.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just
But I
never more than
can't
one.
form.
Gotcha. Okay, then I would like to form one bond with Bentley,
Okay.
which is that Bentley is a friend of the family. By which I would suggest that since he's kind of like angelic and there are probably legends sort of around him, is that perhaps he is the family Rasheen, the royal family's patron saint, or something to that effect.
Could be, yeah.
Okay.
Right. Who else has got some bonds to form?
I got like 4 of them.
Okay, let's hear them.
All right. So Lancrest apparently lasts, or as far as we know, last of the dragons, has been trusted with a great dwarven secret, and that is with regards to the future, or as far as the dwarves actually being from there. At some point, the elders, and well, no, I take that back. At some point, Hesmak, knowing the importance that the dragons hold for the future, kind of let it slip. Kind of let it slip that the dwarves are actually from the future. Didn't mean to say that. Oops, can't take it back. Wasn't drunk.
No takesies backsies.
Yep, no takesies backsies. So just, and I mean, I know we've kind of blurred it a little, but again, as far as most people know out in the world, the dwarves are just dwarves. There's no future tech. They're just good with boats.
Yep, nice boats.
Right.
I can have a reciprocal bond with, let's see, Hesmek Pew Pistol, the Chronodwarf.
You can call me Hez. It's okay.
Yeah.
Or if you want Big Mac.
Yeah, I think something of that same nature, that he got super drunk and then Hesmek told me stuff he probably shouldn't have told me about the future.
Good. Okay. Now, as Gara, considering our future together, you're my drinking buddy. That's our bond. It's interesting, isn't it? That I've chosen you as my drinking buddy.
So I get to watch you drink stuff.
Then I force you to drink. I just bring you oil, and you drink it. And we get so drunk together. It's glorious.
Yep, and when we do, I call you Prestige Worldwide because you're so good with boats.
Great. I love it.
I get it. I understand this joke.
And I mean, there might be a reason why we're such good buddies right now. But Bentley, you're a friend to all doors, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
They welcomed you into their heart. You may also know a little, considering the vast knowledge that you have. You're probably sitting around one day and you're like, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Dwarves here?
We didn't make dwarves.
Where do these fuckers come from? Why do they have laser pistols?
I bet they're pretty magical inside.
Yeah, that led to some unfortunate situations where you tried to find our lucky charms, I guess. But you're a friend to all doors.
All right.
Nice.
3. I got one more in the can.
Okay.
Okay.
And I said nobody. And I'm sorry, Mike, you're my slave. You don't count as one. Nobody can fight at my side like Caesar can. I mean, nobody.
It's true. Few people can get exploded and then come back from it.
Exactly. Like, we've used Caesar a few times to help test weapons.
He'll come back. Jesus, that's
He's like Jack Black in the Jackal. Stands out there while you blow his hand off.
That's right. We've killed him so many times. He just keeps coming back. So we're like, yep, you're all right, buddy. You're all right. Those are my
sense to me.
bonds.
Excellent.
I have one final bond to make.
All right.
The Dragon Landchrist. will be of great importance in the coming days. There is such burden on that poor dragon.
Oh my.
It's so prophetic.
It must be born.
Okay.
Jason Bourne. Like Christus Jason Bourne.
Who still has a couple of bonds they need to form?
I've got 2 left.
All right.
I wish I had any left because then I would just covet Rasheen's treasure 24/7. I think I'm going to do that anyway.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, you can form a bond in that way when you see his treasure in the game, you know.
So much desert pirate.
Well, how about this? I could form a bond with Langcris that essentially we were once enemies.
Okay.
Perhaps Langcris tried to steal my loot once, or perhaps he, used to, siege the walls of his kingdom back in the centuries ago.
Perhaps he had a rowdy youth flying over lake towns and setting them on fire.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe he stole your gold and your women, and you only got the gold back.
Well, we can just buy more women.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Hey, let's not establish slavery in this world.
Too far, Charlie Brown's parents.
That started it.
I like
just
how
saying,
Mike got chastised.
Well, it's only if you enslave me, it's just funny.
No. Let's steer away from establishing slavery in this world. It's going to be dark enough. Okay, anyone else need to...
That's why I act a dark person for you. I mean, nobody else stepped up.
Well, thank you. Does anyone else need to form any more bonds?
I have one more, but I'm going to use it for an NPC.
Who is the NPC you're forming a bond with?
It's going to be my advisor, who's part of the Air playbook, because I get to have two servants essentially, and I chose an advisor and a bodyguard.
So you get, don't want to interrupt, but you get bonds with them that's in addition to your 4 bonds with members of the Fellowship.
Oh, okay.
Does this advisor wear a midriff-bearing shirt?
Nah, I was actually thinking he'd be older and have glasses.
You didn't answer the question.
Oh, well, yes. It does.
Okay.
Oh, that one.
All right, so you need a bond with another member of the Fellowship. Anyone have any ideas to help us out? Don't everyone speak up at once.
Hesmac needs to call Rasheen on his cell phone.
I got one with Bentley, one with Lancrest, one with Hesmac, so I need to either make a bond with Asgara or Caesar. It'd be a hard time making either of them a positive bond.
You could join me in my disgust of the mushroom people.
Okay. How about this? Is that considering what Asgara has already said regarding Rasheen's people, I'll form a bond with Asgara, and it'll essentially be that Asgara is someone that I feel I must surpass.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So that's all the bonds, right?
Feels like it.
Yep, I'm good.
Let me tell you about the Overlord.
You guys tell us about the Overlord.
Well, we have to get there sooner or later. Now, the Overlord looks like what you can see in that token in the bottom left of your screen. Just a pale, spiny, chitinous individual, vaguely humanoid in form. What's different about the Overlord is that they're very large, and they hatched from an egg. Now, the Overlord's egg used to be on top of an impossibly tall tree, and the egg glowed because it was the moon. When the Overlord was born, they cracked open the moon, and the tree fell and shattered across the earth. And everywhere a fragment of the Overlord's tree touched, the land began to dry out and become a desert. And since then, the Overlord has been attempting to make the rest of the world more suitable to their, needs. So the Overlord's armies are a scourge. They spread corruption and blight, and those tainted by it join the Overlord. The blight spreads through touch and through the air, and what it does is it essentially turns everything into what looks like sand. So if you look at the world map, and I'll pop you all over there, you can see that the majority of the map is desert. This is because the Overlord was born a long, long time ago, and since then, the blight, the desert, has been spreading throughout the lands of the people who live here. The only things that have stopped it are the mountains to the west, past which the last of the Harbinger's stronghold remains, and the forest in the northwest, which is gradually dying off as the desert pushes it back. Now, what does the Overlord want? The Overlord has two standard agendas: create opportunities to do good. The world is filled with people who need the help of the Fellowship. Give them people to save, give them a broken world, and see how they fix it. That's my job. And play to find out what happens. The world is constantly changing, and you can never truly know what happens next. Roll with it. Let the game evolve naturally with everyone's input. Don't plan anything outside of what the Overlord is doing. And my third agenda is one that I picked. The world is mine. Portray a world on the edge of defeat. And that gives me an extra cut. Cuts are moves I can make against you. It says, show them just how far your power stretches. Tell them of another conquered land, another lost battalion, another defeated ally. Your reach always presses onward. So you're in a bad situation. Sorry, what was that?
I just said intense.
Indeed. So the Overlord, I have 3 stats. My stats are different from yours. You have blood, courage, grace, wisdom, and sense, and some of you have an extra stat, doom or iron. But my stats are just statements of truth about me as the Overlord. One of these statements is invincible. The Overlord cannot be hurt. The other one is terrifying. Where the Overlord goes, no one can hold hope. And the third one is made of... Oops, sorry, not that one. The third one is made of sand. The Overlord is difficult to grasp or capture because their body is not solid. So those are the 3 stats of the Overlord, and your job as the Fellowship is to destroy each one of those by capturing a source of power. When I lose the source of power, I lose one of my stats. However, I can also gain sources of power, which would give me new stats. So it's a bit of a race, and there's a constant danger for you there. Now, I have a weakness. This is a single material, item, charm, ritual, or spell that I'm vulnerable to. What is it? You as the players will know, but the characters do not. Except for... who knows my weakness?
I do.
Asgara, that guy.
Yes,
Asgara does.
Asgara knows my weakness, but the rest of your characters don't. But you as the players do. So tell me, what is my weakness, and I'll write it down.
It's a giant jar that we can put you in.
Go back to Naruto.
His weakness is that when he is in contact with the Soulforge key, he is a living being and can be killed.
Alright, so the Soulforge key makes the Overlord mortal.
Yep. Just like it can make any can give life to inanimate objects. It can actually bond the sand together into a living body that can be destroyed.
All right, what do the rest of you think? Is that a good weakness?
Sure.
Yeah, I like it.
So that means you'll have to get that key from me and then use it against me. That'll be part of what you have to do.
That seems appropriate.
That means one of my sources of power is the key to the Soul Forge, which I stole from the Guadwin. All right, I have a general. I'm not going to tell you about my general yet. You may meet them sooner or later. We'll find out.
Hi, guys.
We've already formed bonds. Formed bonds with each one of you. You chose the bonds you wanted. And I'll pick my gear, and we'll deal with that if and when you meet the Overlord. So, before we close out this episode of lore setting and bond making and get started on the action of the Fellowship, are there any questions that any of you have that you don't feel have been covered or that you're a little confused by?
So at this point, some of us have bonds and knowledge with each other. Are we to assume that the Fellowship has come together? Have we had the little council meeting or whatever already, or are we going to go through that?
Once we start, yes. We start assuming that you've already gotten together. Each one of you has recognized the danger, and you've already agreed to work together. Because nothing kills momentum like sitting around saying, well, how did our characters meet?
Yep.
We're just going to start after all that's happened.
And where will we be starting?
That you will find out as soon as we begin.
Bum, bum, bum. Cryptic GM warning.
Also, why didn't the dwarfs people use their great technology to just prop up that fucking tree so it wouldn't fall down and fuck everything up?
I think they may have arrived a little late for that.
Also, they're very short.
Sons of bitches.
They couldn't figure out how to get up there.
That's true. They don't have ladder technology, just the sticker technology.
I wish we could prop it up, but it's just so tall.
Okay. So, when we return, the Fellowship will be cast into its first adventure together. So until then, all the best.